the death of Howard Finkel, the first ever employee at WWE, a great friend. Nobody loved pro wrestling that I've ever met more than the Fink. He passed away at 69, and it's just he was a fixture there. And in my run, my 26 years there, Howard was very, very prevalent, always accommodating, a genuinely nice guy. And sometimes one might say that he loved wrestling too much. I don't know. I could be accused of that myself. So Howard's loss is felt by all of us, and God bless him. And I covered the last time I got to see him and hug him at a WrestleMania, not a few years ago. But he's been in bad health. God bless him. So poor Howard.
The voice of definitely my childhood for sure, and the greatest announcer to me, as far as doing the ring announcing, is definitely the Fink. So memorable, just a epic, iconic voice too, right? I mean, he's paired so well with so many of the great moments in WWF history.
Oh yeah, you can't hear an introduction of any big match for seemingly generations that didn't have Howard's voice attached to it. So Howard was the best ring announcer that I've ever worked with. And I worked with a lot of real good ones. Our Justin Roberts down at AEW is a great young ring announcer. Gary Capetta, I love working with Gary Capetta. He was a consummate pro. But Howard, to me, it starts and ends with Howard right now, as far as ring announcers are concerned. He can have the pride that in the business he loves so dearly, he became the very best at what he did, and that was ring announcing. Nobody was better.
And new that everyone kind of stole and uses now, and you always hear he invented that. I mean, it's pretty cool that he's an innovator too.
Yeah, he was. It stuck, so it got over, and
yeah,
it's been over since a lot of people before some of your listeners were even born.
Yeah,
he established his body of work. He lived his dream, and thank God for that. But it's sure going to be sad to think that he's no longer with us.
Absolutely. What's kind of your most favorite moment of him from maybe your WWF days? Do you have anything that kind of sticks out of maybe behind the scenes, or it could be in front of the camera as well?
Oh, there's so many memories of Howard. Howard was before the social media craze, before podcasting, before all the Twitter and all the other social media stuff. Howard was a devout reader. He consumed a lot of information on the newsletters. So when something would come up or Howard would think would be newsworthy, you could always expect a knock on your door. And the other thing, I remember one conversation with him, Howard loved to come give you the bad news as well. And he came to my door, knocked on my door, and I was right in the middle of something. Had my door open, as I usually did. But he came to my door, knocked on my door, and I've been working on payroll, something that was tedious and I need to be really paying attention to, meticulous information. He knocked on my door. I saw my peripheral vision, it's the Fink. I said, all right, Howard, who died? Well, I didn't want to break the news, but but that was his role. I'm not saying the role was bad by any stretch, but Howard did all kinds of things, keeping up with the business in general, following all the trends that what people were booking, who's getting over, all these type things. So Howard was a real student of the game, but I always expect that knock on the door, and every day, he would bring me the New York Post and the Daily News to my office. Now, he bought them for himself at 5 o'clock in the morning on his way to work, because Howard would be at work at 6 or 7. And you could always tell that he'd had breakfast over, because you'd find a little piece of egg over here or a bagel, a piece of mirror here and there. And so, but I didn't say anything to him about it, but you knew that Fink had breakfast reading the paper. And then when he got through reading the paper, he brought him to good old JR, and I enjoyed those two New York City papers when I was living in Connecticut. So a lot of great. Howard, just a friend and so accommodating. He wanted to be loved so much. Like I said, the happy news about Howard was he was no more than or no less than me or you or any other fan listening. Howard was able to live his dream in his dream job. And to be able to say that is pretty amazing. We're lucky that we all can say that. So when I'm gone, people are going to say, well, OJR did what he loved doing for a long time. So his life was good. And that's how I look at my life. And I'm sure at the end of the day, Howard probably felt the same satisfaction that he accomplished something amazing. He went in the Hall of Fame. He was the first employee ever at WWE. That'll never be taken away from him. Ironically, hired on April Fool's Day. He used to joke about that. So do Vince. But, well, it's just coincidental, But Howard was a valuable member of the team there. But I loved him. He's a real good person. Really was. Really a good human being. In a business that's not overtly known for its good people sometimes.